Hello, I'm so happy you are joining us on today's episode of SoulShift. Today, we're doing something really cool. I'm going to be interviewing Mindy Gorman-Plutzer so that you can get to know her on a deeper level. Let's get started. Welcome to SoulShift, where modern science, ancient wisdom, and real life come alive.
SoulShift is your weekly dose of inspiration and a reminder that meaningful change can be both gentle and powerful.
Together we'll unlock practical tools, share conversations that spark something beautiful, and celebrate every facet of your incredible human experience.
Your energy matters, your growth matters, and you matter. Let's shift boldly,
joyfully,
together.
Hi, Mindy. Welcome to SoulShift today. I am so excited to be chatting with you.
I'm so thrilled to be sharing this episode with our audience.
It's wonderful. And our audience is going to be so excited to get to know you. There's so many wonderful things that you bring to our SoulShift. And I am really eager to dive right in so that they can learn more about you.
Thank you, Allie. This will be fun.
Let me begin by reading your bio so that everybody gets to know you a little bit. Meet Mindy Gorman-Plutzer, your guide to food freedom and radical self-acceptance. Are you exhausted by decades of diet culture telling you what your body should look like, what your life should look like? Mindy understands. As a woman who's walked through her own healing journey, she's now devoted her life to helping midlife women reclaim their relationship with food and their bodies, and at the core of it all, themselves. Mindy brings a rare blend of professional expertise and personal compassion to her work as a certified functional nutrition and lifestyle practitioner, board-certified integrative health coach, and a certified eating psychology coach. But her most valuable credential, she's been exactly where you are. What makes Mindy's approach different is her unique system that honors both your body's physical needs and your emotional well-being. She expertly weaves together functional nutrition, practical coaching, psychology, and the mind-body science to create a path forward that feels liberating rather than restrictive. As the author of The Freedom Promise, 7 Steps to Stop Fearing What Food Will Do to You and Start Embracing What It Can Do for You, Mindy has helped countless women discover that true health isn't about perfection. It's about peace. She has appeared on numerous podcasts and is a frequent guest expert on highly acclaimed summits, sharing her wisdom with women ready to transform their relationship with food and their bodies. Mindy, let's get started. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Yeah, thank you. I'm impressed by my own bio.
I am too. You have a wealth of knowledge and you have helped so many people. And I'm really excited about you sharing all of your wisdom on SoulShift. And, Mindy, you talk about helping women transform their relationship with food and their bodies through self-compassion rather than judgment. Can you share what that transformation actually looks like in real life?
Of course. Allie, so much of the work I do comes into play because of my own life experience. And when I'm working with women, I feel it's really important to empathize with where they are, but that comes from the deep knowing of where they are, having experienced myself. So when I talk about transformation, I talk about the wisdom that comes from letting go of our attachment to story and the limiting beliefs that we carry, the toxic beliefs that we carry, that really come from a diet culture that profits off of our self-doubt. So what I mean by that is transformation is so much more about what we let go of than what we do.
Absolutely. That's so beautifully said. I think we so often focus on what we need to change, but I love that you're expressing what can we let go of.
And then we can become the change we want to see, the change we want to put out into the world, the change we want to connect with as we put one foot in front of the other with confidence rather than conflict.
Oh, I love that. Very well said. And when you talk about this, what do you think it means to shift from judgment to compassion when it comes to how we nourish ourselves?
Yeah. Well, so many of us live under the sphere of comparison and criticism. You can't help but compare yourself to the images that are being thrown at us every day, whether it be from the 20-something influencers or the 50-something women who claim to know something you don't know about aging. And it's very easy to fall into that trap. But when we can come to realize who we are, what we've done, every choice we've made with a sense of compassion that everything we're doing is the best we can do at the time, it allows us to put that one foot in front of another and feeling a bit more empowered. And that empowerment sets the stage for us to connect to the wisdom of our own bodies, what's right for us, so we can start to make the choices that are essential for our uniqueness.
Absolutely. Very well said. And, I think so many people do struggle with food, and that's one of the areas that you've really focused on. And I wanted to ask you, you talk a lot about food freedom and radical self-acceptance. And those are powerful words, right? Radical self-acceptance. What does food freedom actually feel like for someone who's spent years struggling with food rules and with body shame?
I love this question. And it comes up a lot when I'm talking to clients, even potential clients. It's very nuanced, okay? Food freedom for me, and what I hope to teach my clients, is not about eating whatever you want. It's about approaching your food choices with confidence that the choices you're making are right for you, not what your trainer is telling you you should be eating, not what social media is telling you that's in or out, but what your body is telling you, what your body is whispering for. Hopefully your body has not gotten to the point where it's screaming its messages to you because you haven't been listening. So food freedom is very nuanced. It looks different for everybody. And it's really important for us to connect to the wisdom of our bodies. Now, that's not always such an easy thing to do. There are many women who aren't really able to connect to that wisdom, who have shut down from their bodies for various reasons, some big, some small. So it takes work and commitment to start to trust that the body is a safe place. So that's why the idea of food freedom and body positivity is so very nuanced for so many. It's very individualized, and it's very important to work with a practitioner who can look at the big picture, who can ask the right questions and can really listen. And for listening, know that there might be questions to ask because certain truths aren't being revealed.
Sure. I love your bio-individual approach. I love that. I love everything that you're saying because it really is so bio-individual, isn't it? And we have so much information coming at us constantly that this is the right way to do it. And somebody's on social media that's saying, I finally figured out how to do it. And I really love that you take a very individualized approach, that we all have our own stories, our own approaches to how we eat. And I love that you're opening the door for women to just tune into their own bodies and follow the path that's right for them. That's very special, Mindy.
And then that's where the idea of radical acceptance comes in. I need to add to that compassionate yet radical acceptance because, as women in midlife, our bodies are changing ever so much. Sometimes it feels like daily.
Sure, of course.
It's important to realize that what worked for us in our 20s, certainly, but even our 30s, even our 40s for many of us, that's not going to work in our 50s, 60s, and beyond.
Yes.
So there needs to be a level of acceptance there,
but
there also needs to be compassion as we start to tune into the wisdom of our bodies. And what does that mean? But radical acceptance does not mean giving up. It does not mean we don't have to strive to be stronger and leaner and more fit. It doesn't mean that you have to give up the goal of a happy and healthy weight. I want to make that really clear. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to change the size of your body. You just need to do it in a way that makes sense for you, basically.
Absolutely. I love that you brought in the word compassion. I think that's one thing that it's hard for women because we are sort of always helping somebody else, right?
Yeah.
And it's really hard to have compassion for ourselves. And I think that SoulShift, and with you on our SoulShift team, we are really eager for everybody to show up with compassion for their own selves and compassion for one another, and just really accepting that we're all unique. We all have different journeys, but we can come together and love one another with compassion and really support one another and lift each other up.
Exactly. It's so very true. So very true what you say. It depends on us. We can create the shift that needs to happen for women in midlife and beyond.
Absolutely. You emphasize honoring individual journeys over a one-size-fits-all solutions, which, as we've talked about, we love. And in a world of quick fixes and diet culture messaging, how do you help women tune into their own wisdom and begin to trust their bodies again?
We start with recognizing the voice that isn't theirs.
Ah, well said.
By understanding their why they have the relationship with food and their body that they do. And that takes time. It takes exploration. It takes patience. It takes compassion. And it takes a willingness to let go. As we started the conversation talking about transformation being so much about letting go. Many women have a hard time letting go of those stories because those stories have created an identity that has carried them through. And very often, a poor relationship with food is just a reflection of one's poor relationship with themselves. So the work really has to start with one's relationship to herself. And it starts with the why, recognizing who she is as an eater, why she's eating, how she's eating, when she's eating. So that's really where it starts. And we have to hope that we can create within somebody a sense of self that feels safe, a sense of self that she can always return home to, where she knows the truth, she knows her value, and she can honor her hunger for so much more than food. And that's where it has to start.
Mindy, you're brilliant, and I love your messaging. And I really am excited for SoulShift. I'm really excited for us all to come together in a compassionate place. And, you know, one of the things we're going to be talking about at SoulShift is life is messy, life is complicated, but we can all have compassion for each other. And we can all show up together to say, we've got this. We are strong and we can come into our bodies, and each one of our bodies are unique and different, and our stories are different. Each one of our lives are messy and complicated, but that doesn't mean we can't offer each other compassion and a safe place to land and share with one another. How to shift into just a place of comfort, and comfort with our food, comfort with our lifestyle, comfort with our mental health, comfort with just being individuals and individual women who support and lift each other up.
You know, Allie, it comes down to being comfortable with being perfectly imperfect.
Oh, beautiful. Perfectly imperfect. I love that.
And that for me is the biggest shift. Letting go of that need to believe I was doing everything right, even if I believed that I wasn't always doing everything right. That's where the compassion came in for me. And that for me was the biggest shift. We want to end each session of each episode talking about what was a wonderful shift for us. Well, for me, the shift was moving from a place of criticism, comparison, and judgment to one of compassion, to stop shaming myself for choices that I made that were far from perfect, realizing that those choices were the best I could do at the time. Good, bad, or ugly. I made every one of those choices with the best of intentions for myself in that moment of time.
Yeah.
And that was the greatest shift of my life for me. And I can honestly tell you, at 70 years old, I am more at peace with my body, with my soul, than I have ever been.
I love that, Mindy. And you are going to continue to offer us that piece of, it's okay, we don't have to compare. And it's hard not to compare when we have all these inputs coming at us all the time. But on SoulShift, we're going to be offering a safe place for everybody to land. And I love that. And I love that we're going to be really opening the doors to not comparing and just honoring our individual bodies. And I love that you are going to be sharing your journey to how you've gotten to where you are today, and offering your guidance and offering your compassion.
And we're going to be having guests from all walks and all scopes. And we are all going to be learning so much about how real life can be aligned and how real life gets messy and how we can celebrate the messiness.
Yes. Celebrate the messiness. I love that. And I am so excited about the guests that we already have signed up. We have quite a few that are incoming over the next couple of weeks. And I am eager for our audience to be able to listen to those conversations and to hear from their wisdom, to hear from their compassionate place. It's going to be really, really neat. I'm really looking forward to all of our conversations we get to have on SoulShift.
It's only going to keep getting better, Allie.
Absolutely.
And this was so much fun today. Thank you so much. It was really great.
Wonderful. I'm so happy to be with you. And I'm so happy our audience got to know you a little bit better.
I'm so happy to share and that the audience got to know you, my SoulShift sister.
Absolutely, SoulShift Sister. And we're going to have Christine on, our other SoulShift sister, and it'll be fun. We will all be having a lot of fun together and with our guests and with our audience. And we just look forward to continuing all of these wonderful conversations.
You have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you. You too, Mindy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for bringing your beautiful energy to us today.
We hope this conversation sparked inspiration for your journey of transformation.
Remember, every small shift creates ripples of positive change, and you're already on your way.
Until next week, take one insight from today and let it energize your life, not as pressure, but as possibility.
If SoulShift feels like a part of your path, hit subscribe so you never miss an episode that might just be what your heart needs in this moment.
If you're watching on YouTube, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. Share what resonated or lit a spark. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today.
And if you're feeling the love, a quick review helps us reach more amazing souls like you.
Your support makes this community thrive, and so we're really grateful you're here and part of the journey.
With love from the SoulShift Sisters, we're cheering you on always. You're not alone.
And until next time, may your path be light
And your heart be full
of possibility.